Bonjour everyone, it's Sarah the Urban Farm Gal, and today we're making ratatouille. We got the perfect ratatouille ingredients this week. In fact, when I got the availability list last week, I immediately thought, I'm making ratatouille. We're gonna order for ratatouille. All I could think about was ratatouille. So we're making ratatouille. This week's share, we got eggplant, we got tomatoes, and not just any old tomatoes. We got heirloom tomatoes, beautiful, different colored, purple, green, yellow, red, orange heirloom tomatoes. They're gonna be awesome in the ratatouille. We also got some zucchini and some yellow crookneck squash. We got beets, and we also got some radicchio. And I know a lot of you have never had radicchio that you know of, but if you've ever bought a salad mix that has that little purple hard leaf stuff in there that looks kind of like cabbage, that's actually radicchio. So I'm going to prepare this to go along with the ratatouille. I'm gonna slice it in half. I'm gonna brush some olive oil on both cut halves. Then I'm gonna sprinkle some salt and pepper on there, and I'm gonna grill the cut sides face down over a hot grill for just a couple of minutes to sear it a little bit. You don't want it to wilt too bad. And then you bring it in and you serve balsamic vinegar on top of it. It should be pretty good. Yeah, I think it will be pretty good. And it should go great with some ratatouille. So a lot of you saw that I brought my solar oven with me to the CSA pickup today. So the first thing I did was cut my eggplant into slices, and they were about an inch thick, and I laid them on a baking sheet and put them in my solar oven for about an hour to an hour and a half, and they just slowly roasted. I think the hottest it ever got today was about 250 degrees, so it was a nice reasonable temperature. I didn't have to keep an eye on it or anything. So I've cut these into cubes now, so you can see they're about an inch thick. I'm just going to slice it kind of down the long side and then slice it into big cubes. So the pieces of eggplant will end up being about yay big. So 3/4 to a half inch, something like that, should be a good size. This is also really good. Oh, yummy. I love this season. And I'm doing the same with the zucchini and the squash. Just cut them into little cubes. And then I've got some onions. These are from last week's share, these sweet onions that we got. So I'm just cutting them into cubes as well, and they're going to saute before we add the rest of the ingredients to our ratatouille. I've got 2 medium onions here. And then I've got some garlic scapes that I roasted last week, and then I froze because I didn't have time to use them. So I've just roughly chopped up some garlic scapes, and we're gonna throw these in as well. Okay, so that's about all the prep outside of I gotta finish cutting my tomatoes. So nix that. And again, I'm just cutting these tomatoes into large cubes. They will cook down and break down while we're cooking the ratatouille. And I promise that I will get some recipes posted this week on the website. I think I might actually have some time to do it. Oh, get in there, little tomato. And then look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it's like a jewel. I love heirloom tomatoes. So these seeds that are left over, I'm actually gonna save these seeds so I can grow some of my own tomatoes. I'm gonna save these little guys. Put you in there. In there. Whoa, get in there. And I think that's all. Okay, that's all the prep that we have to do, so we're gonna go over to the stove. I've got my large pot, and I've got this over medium heat with a little bit of olive oil in the bottom, about a tablespoon. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add my onions because I want them to brown up and soften and sweeten up a little more. So we're gonna cook these over medium heat for probably 10 minutes. To get them nice and soft. So I'm just coating them with the olive oil, and then we'll let them go. If you choose not to roast your eggplant and your squash, and if you don't have a solar oven, then I don't recommend turning on your oven as hot as it's been recently. You can do a couple of things. You can steam the vegetables to soften them up prior to putting them in the ratatouille. You could also just skillet cook them with a little bit of olive oil. The eggplant will take a little bit of time, so I would throw it in about the same time you do the onions. Really, the main goal with the squash and the eggplant is to just soften it up so that it kind of breaks down a little bit while it's cooking in with all the tomato juices. And they're beginning to sizzle. So we're gonna let this go for about 10 minutes. We'll come back and check on it, and then we'll continue adding fun ingredients. Okay, this has been cooking about 2 minutes. Maybe 3 minutes by now. And the tomatoes are starting to soften and break down, which is exactly what I want. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in the eggplant and the squash and zucchini. In you go. So this was 1 large eggplant, and I had 1 medium yellow squash and 1 fairly good sized zucchini. But it was everything that I got with the share this week. I'm actually not going to eat the ratatouille tonight for dinner. We already have plans. So I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and all the flavors will meld together, and I think it's gonna taste even more delicious tomorrow. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna taste delicious tonight, but usually things like this, once the flavors have time to just kind of sit and absorb all the juices and other flavors from their neighbors, then it tastes really, really good the next day. And while we're cooking this, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit freshly ground pepper and a little bit of salt. This is pink Himalayan salt. I just like it. This is pretty much ready. Yeah, look at that. So here we are, a nice big pot of ratatouille. So we used up eggplant, our tomatoes, our squashes. So we got rid of half of our share this week. That's fantastic. And this meal right here will last, I don't know, a couple nights for us. It would feed 4 people easily, 6 people, if you had something else to serve with it, like bread and maybe another appetizer. So I hope you get a chance to try this. I think it's gonna be really good. I tasted just a little bit a minute ago, but I'm gonna take a little piece of eggplant with the tomato. Oh, it's super hot. Oh, that's yummy. That makes me happy. This is gonna be so good tomorrow night. I'm gonna let this cool, put it in the fridge. All the flavors will kind of jumble overnight together and have their little party and do whatever they do. And tomorrow night we'll reheat this up, and it's gonna be so great. And then we'll have it with the grilled radicchio and some balsamic vinegar. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait for dinner tomorrow. What am I having for dinner tonight again? Why am I having dinner besides this tonight? It will be so yummy. So don't forget, next week is the fair. The pigs will be moving into our building, since it is technically the 4-H building and we just borrow it from them every Tuesday. So we will be at the pavilion, which is south of where we normally have our pickup. So it's at the playgrounds. I hope you enjoy your share this week. Have a great week. I will be traveling once again next week, so no video from Sheridan, Wyoming. Wish me luck down in Decker, and I'll look for you in a couple of weeks. So enjoy your fresh vegetables. Summer is finally here. Okay, bye. We are making ratatouille. That's not what I didn't want to say that. Get in there. Okay, here we are, and I can't see myself, so I want to make sure I'm not chopping my head off. Oh, and I am chopping my head off. Big time. Start over. That's more like it.